Welcome to the November Logos and Mythos Book Club. Hope you guys have had a good month so far. Hope October went well for you all. You had a lot of candy and all of that kind of fun stuff at the end of last month. So I am sharing tonight with you a couple of things. I thought we would talk about our favorite books that we've read so far in 2019. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a book that came out in 2019. It's just whatever books you've been reading. Maybe some of you have been reading some classics or just something that happens to be new to you, maybe a new to you author, even though their books have been out for a while. So I would love to hear about that. So whenever you get a chance, if you want to share about some of your favorite books that you've read this year, go ahead and post those in the comments and we'll talk about those. Another thing that I thought we could share are the books that we have on our holiday wish list, or maybe the books that you're planning on buying as gifts for someone. So those are the two main things that I thought we would chat about tonight. So feel free to chime in at any point in the comments with your favorite books of 2019 or the ones that you're hoping to either get or gift in the coming months. And then also I wanted to talk a little bit, first of all, pardon the mess behind us. If you guys joined in last month, you will know that I had a huge pile of all sorts of stuff in the background then too. So I do apologize, it's still there, but I have actually made some progress today. We cleared out the attic. Those of you might remember that we had an air conditioner issue. We had to fix our air conditioner, get a brand new one. That was a lot of fun. And so in the process, we decided to pull down things from the attic. And that has been an ordeal because we didn't want to just put everything back up, because you know what? It's about time that stuff came out and didn't go back up. All right, so we are clearing out. I'm calling it the Great Attic Purge of 2019, and I'm determined. So I've got that going on, and also our book, Megan Smith and I have written a book, Finders Keepers, a practical approach to find and keep your writing critique partner. And that book is scheduled to come out in December. So we are at the line, really, and I've got a ton of work going on working on that. So that can kind of explain some of the mess behind me. Also, this past weekend, we attended the Louisiana Book Festival, and we had a table there. And so if I look tired and sunburned, it's because I'm both. But it was a great event. It was a lot of fun, being surrounded by so many book lovers and other fantastic books. It was just a really neat experience. So if you guys get a chance to go next year, it's always in November in Baton Rouge. So it's a lot of fun. And that's where we were this past weekend. So, and to those of you guys who were there, who stopped by the table, thank you so much. It was nice to meet some other writers. I got to give out some goodie bags to some amazing writers who are participating in NaNoWriMo this month. So for any of you writers who are doing that, that is writing an entire novel, or at least 50,000 words of a novel in 1 month, only 30 days. It's pretty impressive. So I put together a few little goodie bags, and I was surprised how many I was able to give away. So super excited for all of those writers who are participating. And so, yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about favorite books of 2019. So like I said, if you have a book that you just kind of stands out among the others, or a couple of books that really stand out that you read this month or this year, please share that with us. Let us know what was so great about it. And so I will actually kind of just look through my list. I was scrolling through this earlier, and the very first book that I read this year was by Elizabeth Rawls, who has become just a dear friend, dear writer friend, and her book, Bleeding Heart, is her poetry book. And so I started 2019 reading that book, and she just released her newest book. It's a fantasy book. I want to make sure that I tell you guys the right name. And of course, I don't have it up here. Look at me. Anyway, It is a fantasy book, and I'm so proud of her. She's been working on this for quite a while, and it's called Strayborn. I knew I didn't want to mess it up, so it's called Strayborn, and it is lovely. It's a lovely book. It's the start of a series, and I don't remember if she told me if she's planned 2 or 3 books to go along with this. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this book would be great for young readers of fantasy as well as adults. I think we could all enjoy it. So that's something kind of cool. So Strayborn. So I just thought that that was interesting that here I am. I started the year with her poetry book, and now I'm reading her fantasy book that she has been so excited to finally get out into the world this year. So definitely look that one up. If you've got younger readers on your list, that could be a good one for them. If you have questions, let me know. And then let's see. So I have had some author mom friends, some writer mom friends who have released books this year, and I've had the privilege of reading some of those. One that comes to mind is Remaining Eileen by Autumn Lindsay, and that was a fantastic book. And Eileen does become a vampire. I don't typically read vampire books, but let me tell you, this one was excellent because not only is Eileen a vampire, but she's also a mom. And she faces all of these struggles that are common to just an everyday mom who isn't a vampire. And it's just put together in such a beautiful way by Autumn. I love her writing. She puts humor in there, but there's also, you know, the drama and the concern and the tears that all come along with just everything that surrounds Eileen's life. So that is a really good book that I would recommend for the ladies on your list. And then another writer mom is Michelle Keener, and Michelle has become a dear friend, and she released Mission Hollywood this year, which was a fantastic romantic book. Christian romance, I think it's what it would be considered. And she did an excellent job with it. I can't say enough good about her writing, about the content in her books, just the way that she dives deep into motivations behind relationships, behind faith or the lack thereof. Her book is excellent. So I would strongly recommend that one. And she has another book coming out in early December, I believe on December 10th, and it is called Light on Glass. Oh, I hope I'm saying that right. Y'all, I am so unprepared today. I should have written down all of these titles so I made sure I got them right. But anyway, it is an excellent book. I'm very excited to read. I actually have an advanced copy that I cannot wait to dive into. And so that will be another one that I know I'm going to be excited to share with you guys. She also wrote a devotional. It's a short devotional guide. I think it's 30 devotions in it, and it's simply called You Are. And it's 30 names that God has given to you. I really enjoyed going through that. In fact, I gave away my copy. It would make a perfect gift for someone. So I strongly recommend that one. And then, let's see, I read a classic this year that I had never read before, and that was Frankenstein. And I was so disappointed because at our local library, they had a special event where they talked about Mary Shelley, or Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. And I would have loved to have gone to that, but I wasn't able to go that night. But it was so interesting what I did read about her life and how young she was when she wrote Frankenstein. And it was just incredible. And like I said, I'd never read this before. I don't know how I got an English major and hadn't read this, but whatever. I've read it now, and I'm very glad that I did. It's definitely interesting, and I would recommend it to anyone. It was not what I was anticipating. I've actually never even seen the movies. I know some of you have probably seen one version or another, because I know there are a lot of them out there. But I had seen, little snippets from movies. And so I kind of had a preconceived notion in my mind of what this book would be about, and it wasn't. And so at first I was a little I guess, not really sure where the book was going because it was so different from what I expected. And at first I almost stopped reading and thought, well, maybe I don't want to keep reading, but I'm glad that I did. So I'll just leave it at that. And if you haven't read it before, I would encourage you to. All right. So there's my my little blurb for you on that one. All right. So as far as wish lists, tell me what you guys are wanting on your list, and do you have any good recommendations for gifts, book gifts? So I will tell you guys what I've told people before. Don't worry about being the unfun aunt or uncle or whatever who gives the books, because guess what? Even if those kids don't appreciate the books at this moment, I'm pretty willing to bet that they are definitely going to appreciate it one day, and you're going to be the one whose gifts they remember. So the gift of books is the best gift that you can give, in my opinion. So as you're thinking about the gifts that you're giving this year, take some time to think about books. Think about some options there. So I'll tell you what my kids are into right now. I have a girl who is 12 and I have a boy who is 10 or almost 10. And my daughter loves anything with horses. She's super into Canterwood Crest. It's a pretty big series. She keeps asking for more books. I'm like, how many books are in this series? She gave me her wish list, which is like 3 pages long, but I can't get too mad because I think the majority of the things on there are actually books. So there is that. So anything with horses. Most preteen girls love horses, or fantasy, magic, unicorns, all of those sorts of things. Things about princesses, or especially when there's a twist, like the princess maybe is training to be a warrior or something like that. Those kinds of books are really popular in that age range for girls. And then for boys, you will not go wrong with Dogman or Captain Underpants. As much as I hate it, have to admit, potty humor rules all when it comes to boys. And let me just say, the girls snicker too. So I guess it's pretty universal. So anything like that. Now, I will say, my son also enjoys some deeper literature, and I'm very thankful for that. He adores The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I think he is on his 2nd round of reading through those. He's read a lot of other longer books that you might not think of, but boys love adventure. They love spies. Oh, that's another thing. Both of my kids, any stories that have to do with spies. Another writer mom friend of mine has written a series of books about, I think it's the Scott McCulley series is the name of it. And I only have the first one, but I know I've got to get the rest of them because both of my kids have really enjoyed that book so far. And so I would definitely recommend those for your kids if they enjoy the spy kind of thing. Fantasy, of course. Oh, that's another one. Man, I should have written all these down. But C.M. Bainschbach. I know I'm going to say her name wrong. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Claire, please forgive me. But she has written so many wonderful books. The Rise of Eridor. Actually, I haven't read that one, but her fairy ones are wonderful. The first one that I read, I actually teared up when I read the prologue. Okay, I love the way that she writes. She has the most beautiful prose, and those would be highly recommended. That would probably fall in, especially with the girls in the tween teen age range. They're probably going to love it the most, but I think the boys would too. So those would be, there's Tolkien. He finally appeared in a book club. All right. So we have finally arrived. Tolkien has graced us with his presence. All right, and then I would also recommend Rachel Ritchie's series. She has a trilogy. The first one is The Beauty Thief, and so I would highly recommend those. The cool thing about her books is, which they would be perfect for teens, there's a lot of adventure. There's just so many lovely, lovely things about her books. but she also has a picture book version of the first one, The Beauty Thief. So if you have a younger child, say for instance, if you had a tween girl and you had a younger daughter, they could both read them in their own styles, I guess you could say, or their own age range, and that would be something lovely to gift. So yes, a post with these book suggestions. Yes, that would be a really good idea. I feel like I might have one somewhere, which I will pull out, and if I don't, then thank you. I was trying to figure out what I was going to write about next week, so thanks to Heather, I've got that figured out now. You just saved me a ton of work, Heather, so thank you. And then that way I can have all of these written down correctly with the right titles, with the names spelled right, and me not saying the names wrong, because I'm pretty sure I am at this point. I'm very tired. So I have to tell y'all what really happened this weekend. It really was a wonderful weekend, but the night before the book festival, I got food poisoning. So if any of you were at the book festival and I seemed a little off, well, I was. I wasn't 100% feeling the best yet. And I'm much better now. And I really was fine that day. But I was still just so tired and, dehydrated and didn't have enough water and, all that kind of stuff. So there was that. And I'm still trying to recover from that, in addition to just the busyness of everything, and this week being as crazy as it is, with the edits and getting the book out to beta readers, which I'm super excited. We're going to be sending our book to beta readers tomorrow, and then there'll be final edits. And anyway, it's just the craziness of getting a book out into the world, which is all wonderful, and I'm so thankful for it, but it is exhausting. So if I seem a little loopy, you know why. So I believe in being very real, as you guys should know if you followed me for any length of time. You've got the messiness behind me, and here I am telling you all about my weekend. So there you go. But yes, so I think that is, one other thing. Okay, so for the guys in your life, I did want to mention that. I read Capital Gains this year, which I know I've mentioned before, and in a previous book club, my husband was on here with me, and we both talked about that book. We talked about Chip and Joanna Gaines and how amazing they are. And I also got my husband a book, one of their friends. His name's Clint Harp. He's the one, if you ever watch the show, he's the one that makes all of the gorgeous tables and things like that, the woodworking. And so that book that I got my husband is about his life and how he was in a job that he wasn't content in, and he'd always loved to do woodworking, and so he decided to follow his passion. And I haven't read that one yet, but I definitely can recommend Capital Gains. It's a great book, and I think that most men would like Clint Harp's book as well. So I'd recommend those two. And then another thing I just have to say, I'll plug my own book. Any Good Thing has been, it's actually kind of interesting. I've had quite a few people who either aren't readers really at all, or just really are not readers of fiction. And several of these have been guys, and they have really loved this book. So while women will love this book, I can tell you will, men also will. So if you have anyone older, teen, and adult, male or female, they will most likely like my book. So I'm going to plug myself there, but you can find all the information, all the links of where to get it. I always encourage you to go to your independent bookstore and ask the owner there, to ask them what they recommend. They have great suggestions because they know so much about books. But go there first if you're looking for my book, and if you want to order it online or just want to find some other links, other options, you can go to my website, joyerankatori.com/any-good-thing. Okay? And that is the page that has everything about Any Good Thing. And there's Tonkin. Isn't he cute? He's adorable. Yeah, he can do no wrong. Anyway, So, so I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, a wonderful rest of November. I love this month. Thanksgiving's always been my favorite holiday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful one with your friends, your family, and I will see you in December. Have a great month.